second one I watched was more of an in memoriam because it was Sheiky Baby and R.I.P. Iron Sheik.
Absolutely. That was sad. I knew he was sick, but I wasn't sure like to what level it was at. Like I was told he wasn't making any more appearances, so I just, I assumed he wasn't healthy enough to travel. Um and he's one of the accounts like that I follow on Twitter, and I always would say to myself, there's no way that this guy is
No, it
tweeting this.
wasn't him. No.
Yeah, like I would just go on Twitter and pop every day to see like at least one tweet from that account, and it was just always so funny.
It was a team in Canada, two brothers in Canada that ran his social
Oh,
media.
what? Okay. I've met him several times. I don't think he ever remembers meeting me because it's always I would always get that confused look, and they would, oh yes, and then he would shake my hand or kiss my hand or something, like grab me tight my hand. But it was always first that confused look. We did have him in WEW as a manager. I don't know if he knew what was going on. It was just, girls are everywhere. What girls were making out, what girls were getting topless, and he's just looking around like, what the frig is going on? But that added to the charm of having him in for the evening. You know what I mean? But I didn't get to work with him ever. I don't know. Was I included? I might have been in like out there for that match, but I didn't have any interaction with him. So, but I was sad. You're always sad to hear that somebody passes away. Hopefully he didn't suffer. I don't know what it was. Do you know what he passed from?
I don't know. I did not see the official cause of death. I just know he's been in fading health for the last couple of years. I had 2 signings with him over the last 3 years. One got completed. The second one didn't. The second one was delayed multiple times because of his health, and ultimately didn't get done. But that was also because the guy who was the intermediary was complete nincompoop.
I know who he is.
Yeah, and he completely dropped the ball, and is an absolute ass. But the response that the first one got showed how much respect people still had for, just again going back to what we just talked about, that era, right, of that bygone era of the legends of the 80s and the rock and wrestling era, and the uber heel, right, the guy who you hated because of what he was. He was the Iron Sheik. He was anti-America. He was spitting on you because you were supposed to hate him. And something that is not, they try to replicate it but never duplicate it. And just such a character. But watching those shoots, I mean, and the stories that he still could tell in like 2012, oh my gosh, just such a character. And I know people now remember him more for the rants, and the make you humble, and the the Howard Stern stuff. And yes, that was funny. And yes, he became an absolute hoot over the later part of his life. But dude was tough as nails, strong as an ox, and a hell of a wrestler. And I'm telling you, go back and watch some of that stuff from the 80s because he was a dynamite performer.
Speaking of the Howard Stern era with Sheiky, we pulled up the other day Hulk Hogan in studio. And Sheik called in, and it was Sheik. It wasn't like one of the interns doing an impression or whatever. And, Hogan was saying how he talks a lot of crap, but then when he sees him, he kisses his ass. And basically he was saying it's just the work, it's just the work. And Sheik called in, and at first he was like giving him the business. And then he goes, oh, but Bubba, I love you. I love you. And Hogan goes, I love you too. And that's how they
That's great.
It was so funny. And then Hogan goes, yeah, that's how it is with him. Yeah. So we had watched that when we found out that
and that's what I love about him. And it seems like that's how a lot of the interactions went. Now, the one I went and watched, did you remember the stuff with the Ultimate Warrior that had happened around that time, like 2010-ish, I believe, maybe a little bit before?
No.
So at a convention, Ultimate Warrior was signing. Maybe it was a little bit before, maybe like 2007. Ultimate Warrior was signing. It was a convention in New Jersey, and Sheik and Bruno Sammartino were with Eric Sims, super agent Eric Sims, New Jersey fame. He brought Bruno over to get a picture with Ultimate Warrior. Warrior took the picture with Bruno, did the deal. Bruno went back. So then he brought Sheik over. Now, Sheik had said some very derogatory statements about the Ultimate Warrior publicly. Ultimate Warrior was not happy about it and refused the picture with the Iron Sheik, to which the Iron Sheik then went on an epic rant and then slapped the shit out of Eric Sims in public, right? It's on video.
Why? Because Eric brought him over there?
Because he brought him over there and embarrassed him and everything.
Wow.
And oh my gosh, it's epic. But it was, to me, one of the most early viral wrestling videos that ever made the rounds on the internet. Oh, one of the best. Oh, it's awesome. The confrontation's out there. It's classic. And then they talk about it too. Eric and Sheik talk about it in an interview too.
Yeah, because they worked together years after that. So.
Oh yeah, for years. Eric and Sheik were that for many, many years. But so funny. But another thing too, this was incredible. And it's so, the kayfabe commentaries, we've talked about those, the style of the U-shoots and the outrageous questions. Sheik talks about, the girls and whatever. And I never would have thought this. And if it's out there in full, if people want to check it out. It's on the Kayfabe Commentaries YouTube channel, talking about how Nikolai Volkov would partake in the after parties with the Sheik and the girls. And I never would have expected that in the rock and wrestling era. So not only did you get them as tag team champions in the ring, you got them as tag team champions in the post show.
Oh, too. Like they would take turns with the females?
Oh, they would. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Don't tarnish Nikolai. Nikolai used to call me all the time and leave me messages and ask how my kids were and how my husband is. And
because they were, they would say like, oh, did Nikolai partake in the, the medicine as she called it, or, the A to the Z as he called it. And he said, no, he don't do the A to the Z or the medicine man, but he do the girls. He partake in the girls.
Well,
oh God, I never ever want to get that picture, because he was always so soft spoken, mild mannered.
He loved Nikolai so much.
This guy, and you never could picture again. The tag team champs in the ring and the tag team champions outside the ring.
And you know something, and I have it on my phone. There was a picture of Nikolai and Sheik on a tandem bicycle, and they said it's kind of like friendship goals. Your friendship ain't nothing if you haven't rode a tandem bicycle like these two, and it's them just pedaling.
Two things I never ever thought I would ever picture after this were Sheik and Volkov on a tandem bike, and Sheik and Volkov tag teaming some broad somewhere in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
It was a cute picture. But I hear a lot of stories about these fans being double teamed back in the day, and I don't know. Never happened to me. I can honestly say that it's never happened to me.
A lot of Buffalo Bettys out there.
And, I don't think I would enjoy it either. I don't know.
Do you think Howard Finkel comes in and goes, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise as Nikolai Volkov would like to pull down his pants for his presentation of his Winky?
So stupid you are.